Hi, my name's Matt Widgery from mattwidgery.com. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different to the normal stuff that I do about camera reviews and sort of tutorials and things like that. It's going to be a lot more personal, and it's about my journey over the last 4 years to get to where I am now. Bearing in mind, I'm not kind of singing from the rooftops of where I am now. I'm nowhere near the rooftops. I'm still kind of but I am through the front door, and I hope that I'll be making my way up the stairs. But 4 years ago for me was an interesting point. That's where I wanted to start it there, because I actually quit drinking. It'll be nearly 4 years. As I record this, it's August 2014. It'll be 4 years in October that I quit drinking. I had a problem with drink. I drank too much, and I drank too much for basically all of my adult life. And so when I quit, a bunch of different things started to happen. Some of it pretty quickly, some of it took a lot of time to kind of work its way through, and some of those things still are working their way through. And one of them is definitely reconnecting with my love for photography and my ability to do it as a job, because I'd lost 2 businesses, in fact 3 businesses during the time when I was drinking. I'd lost relationships, friendships, everything, this is all the standard stuff, I guess. This is not unique to me, and I'm in no means wanting to be kind of like bleeding heart about this stuff, but I did want to make this video because I think that if I can do it, basically anybody can do it, right? There's no great magic to this. Okay. I started to find a sense of self when I quit, because I was out on the piss the whole time. I had huge areas of my life that I didn't really remember, and so I didn't really have this sense of who I was, because all we are is we know who we are because of our memories of what we've done and where we were and things like that, and I didn't really have that. So that kind of reconnection with who I was allowed me to do lots of things that I had kind of forgotten about. And one of those things was photography. And so in my previous role, before I became full-time as a photographer, as a freelance photographer, I started to find my love in my previous job for photography again, and started to take product photography, event photography, and things like that. I was working as a PR and marketing manager for a company, and it was a relatively small organisation, and so there wasn't a great budget to hire other photographers and things like that. So I started to do this stuff myself, product shots for the website, and press launches and things like that. It was kind of, I took it on board to do myself, because I enjoyed doing it. It was also my first real attempt at doing a YouTube channel. I filmed some episodes of a sort of TV show for their YouTube channel as well, and got into that and really loved that. And I guess that was really, and I didn't know it at the time, but that was really the catalyst for me to then move and start doing this full time. If I was still drinking, I know for a fact that I wouldn't be able to do this. My organisational skills were completely terrible. I would not, I just wanted to be in the pub the whole time. Or just, even if I was just at home, I'd get a bottle of wine and just be drinking that, or a couple of bottles of wine. And I wouldn't have the energy or the impetus to, do what it takes in order to get a business set up. So the fact that I did stop drinking gave me my life back in a lot of ways. It reconnected me with who I am, and it reconnected me with what I love so much, which is photography. And it's been a passion of mine, literally since I was a kid. I remember being a very small kid, and my dad had an Olympus OM1, which I used to play with, and he'd let me take pictures with it when we were on holiday and stuff like that. And I was fascinated by all that little mechanical dials and all that sort of stuff, and that you could kind of control, things and make an exposure. And I thought that was really fascinating, and it stayed with me, that love all my life. But it was something that kind of got, rinsed away with all the booze. With so much other stuff, and I guess I'm making this video for anybody that's in the position now where maybe there are other distractions, whether that be an addiction, whether that be like a day job that they feel beholden to, that they can't leave, because they're fearful of what's going to happen next. I was incredibly fearful of quitting drinking because I didn't know how I could cope in social situations without having a drink, right? I'd done it for so long. So there was a lot of fear associated with giving that up. There's a lot of fear with a lot of things. There's a lot of fear with giving up my job, and doing this full time. But there is light at the end of the tunnel, and you don't have to be some sort of spectacular, massive genius in order to make that leap. You just have to kind of be brave. It's like ripping off a plaster. You just kind of do it. Some things will work out. Some things won't. It won't be an easy path. You won't give yourself, lots of spare money by doing it. Or anything else. I mean, one thing I did notice is that I did have a lot more disposable income when I had a job but wasn't drinking. I had money to spend on camera gear, which is nice because I wasn't spending it in the pub. So there's that. But obviously then sort of going full time, as it's been 8 months now that I've been doing this full time as a job, and so obviously sort of money, I've had to be much more careful with it because while that business is still growing, I'm still kind of thankful for every job that I think I'll always be thankful for every job that comes in, but I've been kind of super grateful that it's kind of it's a relief when the jobs come in at the moment, because it's like you get the jobs to pay the bills and then you're hunting all the time for the next jobs, as I'm not at the point yet where I'm building up reserves and all that kind of stuff. So it's a process that I'm going through. And I think that sometimes that gets lost during translation a little bit when when people see the tutorials that I put out or the reviews or whatever, that they kind of, I don't know what people think. I've had some really positive feedback about some of the stuff I've been doing, but I think with that context. Context is everything, I think, and knowing that I'm not anything, I'm not doing anything that you can't do. If you want to be sitting doing this stuff, then do it. If you want to be a photographer, do it. If you want a YouTube channel, do it. If you want to be a writer, if you want to be anything you want, right? Just get out there and do it. Don't be fearful. And if you are struggling with something like alcoholism or drugs or anything else like that, where there's some kind of something kind of holding you back, it's never too late to stop. I was 30 years old when I stopped drinking, and it's changed my life like just so much that I can't even begin to imagine. I'm doing all this incredible stuff now that I just never thought was possible, and for me my career is very young still. I mean, Christ, I've been doing this full time independently, as I say, for 8 months, and I'm just super psyched about it and so thankful for where this opportunity has led me to get to this point, with the shoots that I'm doing, with the people I've met, with the images that I'm making, just the whole lifestyle that I've got now compared to where I was in my days when I was drinking. It's just night and day. And as I say, I'm nothing special. If I can do it, you can do it. So seize the bull by the horns, as the Latins would say, carpe diem, seize the day. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. So if there's something that's holding you back, that's making you fearful about making that leap into living the life that you want to lead, and it doesn't matter what that is, release that fear. Jump into the unknown, be frightened by it. It's an old cliche, but you only live once, so live. You can't have this time over again, so go out and do it. So I look forward to seeing you down the road sometime. Thanks very much for watching. I know this has been a bit of a different show, but leave comments if there's things that you've had like similar experiences, because I'd really like to hear from others that, and not just about alcoholism, but anything that's a fear that's been holding you back, that you're struggling with, or that you've overcome, that you think that your story might be able to help others that are maybe watching this video, sort of down the line, and they might be able to take a little bit of positivity from that as well. So thanks very much for watching. See you again soon. Cheers.